Welcome to the training. My name is Zane. Today I'll be going over some of the questions about the SAR section. These questions, got quite a few questions here. I'm going to start out by going over some of the questions that are combined, some of the questions that are similar. And we'll start off here. I'm going to log in here. And today is going to be we're going to be going over the SAR section, so the suspicious activity report. Okay, so these are based off of the FINCEN requirement for casinos and MBS. So we'll start here. The first question here is about making SAR's input. So I'm gonna go into the people section here. I'm just gonna open somebody's profile here. So when you open the customer profile, you can go to the SAR tab. I'm gonna fill out a brand new SAR here. I'm gonna click on this button on the right hand side here, new SAR, and I'm gonna pick today's gamey day. I'll say today's gamey day, and let's say it's today, the end date, we'll say ends today. Okay, so when you fill out a new SAR report here, this will be under this customer here. So for each individual report that you're going to fill out, you're going to fill out for each customer. Okay, so here list all accounts. So here I will input the accounts. So these are usually internal accounts. So we'll say, we'll just put a bunch of numbers here. Was there a confession? Say yes. Relationship type. So this is the customer. Relationship to the business. So let's say it's a customer. Okay. And inside a relationship, you will choose this if it is an employee. And then you can pick one of these options from the drop down list. Remember that all the items on the drop down list here can be changed and modified on the administrator side. Over let me move over here so I can go back to the dashboard here. You can make those changes in the admin section here. Okay, go back to my report here, and I'm going to fill this out here. It's the dollar amount. We're going to say $5,100. Okay, so for your COSA type, this is your summary of characterization of suspicious activity. Okay, so we could choose some here. Let's say credit card fraud. Okay, and amount loss. Let's say that's the amount loss. Recover. Let's say we recover $5,000. Impact on institution. Let's say yes. Notified. Let's say we notify Secret Service. Okay. So one of the very important part that you always want to remember when you're filling out this report is make sure you have all these amounts: the amount lost, dollar amounts, and if there's anything that was recovered. Okay, these amounts are very important because they help your reports when you print out your reports. For example, I'll show you in a little bit some of the reports and how these numbers here can help your business. Okay, so list all persons and phone numbers contacted at law enforcement agency. So we'll say we contact the agent Una Rinaldi. Okay, and we'll put a phone number for her here. We'll say 559. Let me put some numbers here. Okay, and then for the contact assist, I'll put my name here. Okay, and And my title, I'll say I'm the compliance officer. My phone number will go here. And date prepare. I'll choose today's date. Agency, I'll put Gaming Commission here. SAR's activity. So this is where you put your report in. So I'll say on the above date and time, the customer name Joe Biden approached the window number 1 at the main cage. Okay, he attempted to conduct a transaction of $5,000. The cashier named, say, Yuna, okay, and so forth. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. Okay, so I'm gonna save and exit. So if we go back into that customer's profile, we'll search by ID, and we'll open up that customer and go back to the SAR. Okay, so that's a brand new SAR that I just filled out by clicking on this button here and filling out the form. Okay, you'll notice that on the gaming date, which is today here, okay, that amount appears here. Okay, so that is the new SAR report there. Okay, now when you submit this to BSA, you would track it on the right hand side, the SAR filed list here. Okay, so I'll click on the new SAR file here, and I filed it with BSA, so I'll say my name there, file date, today, date, and file category. This is the initial filing. The amount is 5-1, and approved by, I'll put my name here, I approved it. BSA doesn't take mail, manual mails anymore, so it's always electronic now by default. BSA ID, okay, the batch number, confirmation number, and results. Let's say it's accepted and pending is completed, and we'll close out of that, save and exit. Now go back into that customer profile there. Okay, and you'll notice that on the right hand side, the SAR filed list, you'll see that that one is completed and it's been accepted. Okay, so anything that is still pending, it's gonna be in red until you check the box that says it's completed. Okay, now I'm gonna exit out of here. Okay, I'm gonna refresh my system here in the dashboard. Go to the SARs. Okay, now on the left hand side here, you have the SAR list. So this lists all of your SARs for all of your customers. You can click on the ID here, and you open up the customer's profile, or you can click on the SID here, which is SAR's ID, and open the SAR number. Okay. Now, anything that's over $5,000 is going to be highlighted in red. Okay. So this is a good marker to look for when you have anything that's highlighted in red that went over $5,000. And SAR daily aggregate total. Okay, so you're tracking this customer throughout that 24-hour period for your gaming day. You'll get that aggregated total down here, and it's very similar to where you will go into the customer profile in the SAR section, it also has the daily aggregated amount as well. Okay, exit out of that. Now, another really good option in the SAR section here on the dashboard, where it shows all your SARs for all your customers, is the option down here where it says open compare to SAR file view. Okay, so when you choose that option, you get this list here, and what this list tells you is that it tells you the gaming days, okay, the customer ID, and it gives you the total. Okay, you notice that the one that we filled out right now is highlighted in green. Okay, it's because the status is completed. So anything that is in the red marker here, the compliance officer hasn't filled out or have made any submission to BSA yet. So you'll see that these are blanked here, or they're still pending here. They're not completed yet, so it will be highlighted in red. So the goal is to make sure that you have everything in green here. Okay. Now there have been questions about duplicate entry. Duplicate entry meaning that, say for this customer ID number 2 here, okay, you'll have multiple amounts for the days. That is due to the types of filing. So based on the categories, if you made an initial BSA filing and it wasn't accepted, it's not completed. Let's say it's completed but it wasn't correct, and they wanted you to file an amendment, then you'll see that doubled amount there. Okay, that'll tell you that there's 2 amount there. So I'm going to close out of this here. I'm going to go to the report section here. Okay, I'm going to go to the SAR list by ID date range. Okay, so we're going to choose that customer number 2 there, and the first gaming day. So I'm just going to put in some wide range dates here just to get everything out of the system. So let's see what we have for this customer here. Okay, so for this report here, you see that we filter for Joe Biden here, and it shows us all of his gaming day and all of the SAR submission as well. Okay, so for example, gaming day 10/30/2024 here, you'll see that he has a dollar amount of $899. Okay, and there's a SAR that has been filed. Okay, and I'll go up here, and here's another gaming day here with these amounts here. Okay, go to the report here. So you'll see we filled out 4 SARs for a total amount of $6,199. We had a total amount loss of $5,200. We were able to recover $5,200. Okay, so that's where those amounts are important for you as the filer to document those numbers, because when you generate your reports for, let's say, weekly, monthly, biannually, quarterly, or annually, you'll get these amounts, and it'll tell you it'll give you a breakdown and an analysis of this particular customer here. Close out of that, and there's a bunch of other reports here, but I won't go over those at the moment. One of the most important thing is to make sure you use the SAR compare to SAR file view. This tells you the requirements that you have SARs that you have not reported to FINCEN yet, which are over the threshold. Okay, so we'll go to the second question. Let's say second questions are what are SAR compared to SAR field. Okay, so just went over that again. This is where these are the SARs amount, okay, and these are the SARs file. So this button, this option really gives you a good idea of what you need to complete and what you need to file. And for SARs, it's usually 30 days you have to file. They have an extension of another 30 days for a total of 60 days for you to find out and investigate who this customer is. Okay, and fill in the details. So we'll close out of that. Let's go on to the next question. Does SAR aggregated totals have a view to see all the individual SARs report? Yes. The aggregated float view here does give you all of the amounts there. So if you look at this, it'll break. You can filter these by using the options up here. You could select all, or you can pick just a particular gaming day. You can sort newest to oldest here. That is currently the sort order here. If I choose oldest to newest, it'll change the order. I can change it back. I could organize it by the customer ID as well, and dollar amount as well. Okay, so if you go into the people section here, and let's pull up that customer again, ID number 2 here. You go to the SAR section here. Okay, you can also click on this, see all SARs, and you can see all of the SARs that you have filled out for this customer here. Or you can click on the see all SAR filed it, and you'll get this data sheet view here where you can see all the amounts. And let's say file for date. This is a gaming day. You can resort this if you like as well. Okay, close out of that. Let's go to another question here. SAR data view cannot make changes. SAR data view. So yes, if you go into the, let me close out of this here, SAR file. This is what is called the data sheet view here. So when you go here, if you look up at the top here, you'll see it says restricted. You can't make modifications here for the SAR file. Okay, for most of the SARs here, if you go to SARs, these are all restricted. Okay, so if you open up the individual SAR here, let me open up the individual, you'll see it says update, and you can make changes here, such as if I was to make changes here, okay, change that customer to, let's say, employee. Okay, you can make changes there. Okay, the other place where you can also make changes is you can go to the under the people tab. You can go to reports and more, corrections, and in the correction mode you can go to the particular customer ID, and here you can make changes to these fields here as well. Okay, it's very similarly if you open up the SAR also. It'll say update. You'll be in update mode here as well. Okay. Now this is on the normal user login. Okay, so I'm going to log off here. I'm going to go into the guest mode here. Okay, so this is the guest mode section here, where most of the casino employees will be logging into. Okay, the normal mode is usually for compliance. Okay, for SARs, yes, the most of the fields here will be restricted. Okay, although if they go into the, let's say, let's go into the people section here, and let's put up the customer ID there. Okay, under the SAR there. Okay, they are able to update it. Okay, and the way the application works is that every update here, all these updates here, if I change these to 7s here, let's say, okay, the application tracks the deletions and also the changes. So the admin, on the admin side, you'll be able to see who made that change as well. Let's go back to the normal login, and I'll show you where the changes are. Okay, so if I log into the admin tab, admin section, all the default passwords are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you'll see, let me float that view there. Okay, you'll see that it tracks all changes to all the fields. Okay, so you have the SAR table made by this user here. Okay, and they made this change on this date and time here. Okay, they have the value change to that. Okay, so yes, on the admin side you will be able to see who made data changes. Let's go to another question here. Does the in-user mode lock out SAR changes? Yes and no. Go back to the guest mode here, and we'll log as Andy here. Let's go to the SAR section here. So for example, if they access the SAR from the dashboard, it's restricted, but if they go into the people section, pull up the profile, and they go into the SAR tab for this particular customer here, they are able to update. Okay, and that is allowed because a lot of the time you might not know who that customer is, and FinCEN allows you 30 days to find that customer's information. Usually if you can't find that customer's name and address and social security number or driver's license number, they give you additional 30 days, so for a total of 60 days. Okay, let's go to another question here. Where is the tracking for the SAR changes saved? Close here. Okay, so let's log off of the guest mode here. Let's go back to the normal mode here. Okay, you'll notice that I'm going to go back to the guest mode here real quick here so I can show you this here. You notice that on the guest mode side, you don't have the admin or supervisor modules. Okay, so let's log off here and let's go back to the normal user. Okay, now I want to go into the admin side and put in my password, and so all of the changes throughout the application, they'll be saving the audit log. Okay, so on this mode here, it shows you the last 30 days. You can float all, and this would give you a record of everything that the system has saved. Okay, so I'll go up here, and this is the last changes. So for example, if I'm going to leave this open here, I'm going to go to the people section. I'll open up the customer ID 2 here, and let's make a little change here so that we can see how it is saved. So I'm going to open up the SAR here. This is the one that we filled out earlier. Okay, for $5,100. I'm going to change the account to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, save and exit. Go back to my admin side here. Refresh my list here, and you'll see that it saved that change there, and it tells you the user who made that change, what date and time as well. Okay, close out of that. Let's go to another question here. The audit does not track the changes to the confession and omission and the insider relationship. Okay, this question we addressed this a few times already, and I know exactly where it is. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to open up that SAR that we just filled out. What the question was about was that in the older version, if you have these check marks here, okay, so for example, I'm gonna put check marks here, and I'll save that, and then I'll go back into it. Okay, so in the older version, the application didn't track changes to these boxes here. These two boxes right here. Okay, the new version, it does track it. We had a lot of requests about that. So for example, if I uncheck these right here, this is the confession or omission and the insider relationship. I'll uncheck those. Okay, the way this format was designed is based off of the FINCEN's XML 2.0 schema. So all of these fields were pulled from that format. So I'll uncheck those and I'll exit out of that and exit out of that. Let's go back to the admin side here, so you can see the audit log here. Okay, so I'm going to just open up the view all so that I can see it. So those are the two changes: the insider relationship and the admission. Okay, so it tracks it. The before value is true, that means it's checked it, and then we unchecked it. And who made those changes? This user here on date and time here. Okay, so if you're using the older version, which is from the summer of 2024, it doesn't track that. But the new version, those two fields has been updated with a lot of requests. We made those changes there. I'm going to go to another question here. Can you add a sample of how to write an activity detail report? Yes, we have a sample of how to write the SAR report. Let me open up one of the SAR so I can show you what this question is the concern about this question here. Okay, that's the question is about writing how to write the suspicious activity report down on this field here. On our website there is a copy of one of the examples that FINCEN had on their website. So if you go to the website, you'll see there's a copy in there as well. You can also save that copy inside the document section of the application here, such as, for example, I know a lot of casinos, they like to just archive that image of it here, or they could save it to their KB here. Okay, go back to the SAR section here. Okay, so let's go to another question here. Can you add a reminder of the greater and equal to $5,000 to the SAR section, which is similar to the CTR section in the customer profile? Yes, that will be in the updated version, probably in the early 2025, probably in January. We'll be adding that. What the question is about is, for example, when you go into the CTR section here, you see these amounts here. Okay, and the 15 calendar days here, and if you go to the SAR, you'll see greater than or equal to $5,000, 30 days to 60 days following requirement. But when you go to the people section here, we'll open up a customer here. On the CTR side, the question is where on the CTRs it has greater than $10,000, and then the SAR doesn't have the $5,000 text up here. So that'll be in the update version of the application in early January. Okay, and I go to another question here. Can you explain the duplicates in the comparison view? Yes, I talked a little bit about that on the compare to SAR file. So these first three fields here, okay, these fields are the inputs that you made for your SAR report. These last four fields here are when you file your report, which is your batch file, to the BSA website, and you document it here that you have filed it. Okay, so these are two different sections that are combined for view. So when you have filed your SAR and it's completed, it turns this green, and for the red markers it shows that I have not filed with BSA yet. Okay, so the color code really gives you a quick view of what you need to do, especially all these pendings here, and to update it as FINCEN updates on your profile to if they accepted your filings, or has it been rejected, or has it been completed, but you need to file an amendment, or if you haven't filed it yet, an initial filing, and you're late, you can file a back file as well. Okay, so that's the question for that. Explaining the duplicate values. So for example, if you, let's say this amount here, okay, I'm gonna close out of that, and I'm gonna go into the people profile here, and I'll do another one here. Okay, go into the SARs. So I'm gonna file another SAR here. Okay, let's say my first filing was rejected. It's completed, but it's rejected. So what I'll do is I'll file another one here, and we'll call this an amendment here. So I'm gonna file it for the date of the gaming day. Okay, so the gaming day was 12/26. We'll be filing for that, and this is an amendment. Okay, and for the amount of file 1, I approved it, electronic, and then BSA ID, batch number, and confirmation number. You can get that from BSA when you do the filing. Let's say accepted with warnings, and let me bring this up a little bit so I can see the rest. Okay, let's say it's completed here. Okay, so we did an amendment here. Let's save. Okay, back to SARs. Let's do compare. Before we go into that, let's refresh our list here. Okay, go back to SARs, compare view. Okay, so the question is involving these duplicates here. So this customer here, customer ID 2 here, okay, they have 2 SAR filing on the same gaming day for the same amount, and you can tell that one's an initial filing, okay, here, and then the other's an amendment. Okay, so that's what the question was about, was that if you see duplicate values for the same gaming day for the same customer, it's because there's more than one filing that say the first one was the initial filing, but it was rejected by BSA, and you need to file an amendment, or there were some changes that you found, and you made some changes to the filing, you file an amendment as well. Okay, so that's what the question was about, seeing duplicate values for the same customer on the same gaming day. Okay, all right, that's answer some of the questions for the SAR sections. If you have any other questions, feel free to submit it to us, and we'll go over some of the trainings. We'll make another video training and go over some of the questions that you might have about the application. I know there's a lot of questions. We'll be going over the meal section for our in another video training, and we'll save that and upload it to the website so that you can view that video, and hopefully it'll answer some of your questions as well. Common questions for SARs, we'll add those into a secondary video as well. We'll upload that to the website for training as well. So thank you for attending this training, and if you have any other questions, feel free to email it, and we'll combine all that and then make another video training for the SAR section as well. Okay, for the food training, there's a additional video for the food training on the CTR, SAR, and MIL, and all the other modules on the application here. So you can view those. They're all on the upload it on the website or on the test stations that we have, where you can remote into it and you can test the application. So once again, one of the major questions was how much the application costs. The application is free to use for all casinos. You don't need to register it. You can go to the website and fill out a request form or send us a request for assistance so that we can help you install the applications. Or if your IT department have any questions, they can contact us as well. But the application is free to use without registration. And thank you for attending this training, and we'll be having another a secondary SAR video to answer some more questions, probably coming in the upcoming weeks as well. So once again, my name is Sang, and thank you for attending.